Activity 4.2 on the melting of ice, Experiment B. The effect of surrounding temperature on the rate of melting of ice. I'm going to be using small beakers instead of petri dishes. Here we have an experiment set up for experiment B. Okay, here we have ice cube 1 in beaker X, which has ice water in it. Then we have ice cube number 2. I will put it inside here. I'll put it in this beaker which has warm water in it. You can see the condensation from the warm water. Okay, then this one, ice cube number 4, I will just put it on the table. And the last one, the last ice cube, I'm going to put it over there in the hot sun. Okay, and we'll see how long they take to melt. Okay, so here we have ice cubes. I'm going to use the Christmas tree shaped ice cubes. They're all the same size and the same shape. So let's put an ice cube into each beaker. Okay, this one's a bit small. So now there's an ice cube in each beaker. I've got my stopwatch here. Okay, I'm going to start the stopwatch and I'm going to put them all into the different containers. Okay. And one's going in the sun. Right, now let's see. Which one do you think will melt first? The one in the beaker of ice water, the one in the beaker of warm water, the one that's just on the table in the shade, or the one over there in the hot sun. Okay, let's see which one will melt first. Okay, the time on my stopwatch, it's just 35 seconds. So let's see. Okay, the one in the ice water is still ice. The one in the warm water looks like it's melting quite fast. Okay, the one in the warm water looks like it's melting fast. The one on the table is also melting, but not as fast. Okay, I think it may be the one in the... You can see how small it's gotten. See how small it's gotten there. Okay, the time now is about 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes the one in the warm water ice cube has completely melted into water within 2 minutes. Let me show you the one in the ice. It's still ice cube shape. It's got a bit smaller, but it's still there. You still see it there. Christmas tree shape. The one on the just left on the table is also still there. Let's have a look at how the one in the sun is doing. Okay, let's have a look there. The one in the sun is also still there, but it's also melting. So the first one to melt was the one in contact with the warm water. One in the ice water is still ice cube shaped. The one on the table is also still there. The time now is 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Okay, the time now is just gone past 6 minutes. Let's have a look at how our ice cubes are doing. First one, ice cube 1 in beaker X with the ice water. Let's have a look. Is it still there? Yes, you can see the ice cube is still there in the beaker X with the ice water. Let's have a look at ice cube 2 in beaker Y with the warm water. Well, that one melted in under 2 minutes, so it's still water there. It's becoming warm water itself. Let's look at ice cube 4 just on a table. Okay, ice cube 4, as you can see, is also still there. Okay, it's swimming in a pool of water, but there's still some ice. Let's have a look at the one in the sun. Okay, this is ice cube 3 under the hot sun, and ice cube 3 is also still there, although it's getting smaller too. So we'll check on it in another few minutes. Okay, the time now is 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Let's check on the ice cube in the sun. As you can see, it's still there, but it has become smaller. Okay, the ice cube in the sun seems to be the next one that's going to finish melting. Okay, let's have a look at the others. Okay, the ice cube in the beaker of ice water is still pretty much there. You can see that it's even still Christmas tree shaped. Okay, the one on the table in the shade is also still there. You can still see it there, but it's smaller than the one in the ice water. Let's check on the one in the sun. The one in the sun is very small now. Okay, it's now 9 minutes and 40 seconds, and the one in the sun is just a little bit of ice left. Okay, it's getting smaller and smaller. Okay, the last bit of ice is just going to disappear soon. You can see it there in the beaker in the sun. Ice cube number 3 looks like it's going to be the second one to finish melting. And you can see it getting smaller by the second actually. The last bit of ice cube number 3 just disappearing in the heat of the sun. You can see this last small bit of it there. And it's finished melting at 10 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay, the time now is 11 minutes and 47 seconds. Let's check on how the remaining 2 ice cubes are doing. Okay, ice cube number 4, which is on a table in the shade, is still there. Just about, little piece of ice left. Ice cube number 1 in the beaker of ice water is doing pretty well. It's still Christmas tree shaped, hasn't melted very much. Alright, an update. The time now is 13 minutes and 30 seconds thereabouts. Okay, the ice cube that's just left on the table is almost finished melting. You can see a little bit of ice there. Okay, in fact, okay, it's just finished melting. Time is 13 minutes and 46 seconds. So 13 minutes and 46 seconds is the time it took the ice cube that was just left on the table in the shade to melt. Let's look at the last remaining ice cube, the one in the ice water. How is that doing? As you can see, it's still in pretty good shape. You can even still see it's Christmas tree shaped. Okay? So those are the ice cubes I got out of this Christmas tree ice cube mold. Okay, I brought ice cube 1 in beaker X with the ice water back to the lab. So I finished with all the other ice cubes. And the time now is 27 minutes and it's still there. It hasn't finished melting. Okay, it's melted a little bit, but it's even still Christmas tree shaped. Okay. I've thrown out all the ice in the ice water, so now I'm hoping that the ice water is going to warm up a bit so that the ice cube will melt, otherwise we'll be here all night. Okay, ice cube 1 beaker X. It's now about half an hour already, and let's see how much of it is left. Over there's a about 1 cm piece on the left of the beaker. Okay, over there, can you see? There's still a bit of ice. Okay, the ice water has become just cold water, so it's starting to melt. But it's been more than half an hour now. Okay, the ice has finished melting finally. Finally, it's all water. And let's see how long it took. It's 4:35 p.m. now. Okay, and according to my calculations, because I had to use my stopwatch for the other experiment, so I stopped my stopwatch at 4:20. At that time it was 28 minutes. Now it's 15 minutes later. So altogether it took 43 minutes for the ice in ice cube 1 in beaker X with the ice water. It took it 43 minutes to melt, and that's only because I threw out all the ice in the ice water and let the ice water warm up a bit. Notice, the hotter the surroundings, the faster the ice melts. Because the greater the temperature difference, the faster heat flows.